The art of sticking a jump in parkour is one of the most loved things by freerunners. There is nothing that will make a freerunner more happy than sticking a massive jump. But I can imagine how, to people who don't do parkour, that might strike them as weird. Surely the more impressive thing is the jump itself.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, that's not the case. The amount of times I've seen a freerunner do an absolutely massive jump but not stick it, they will always have the same reaction.
Oh.
They'll be annoyed at themselves and they'll run straight back and do the jump again until they've stuck it.
Yeah. Oh, yes!
In today's video, we are going to explore why and how freerunners stick big jumps. So for me personally, sticking jumps has always been a sticking point in my parkour. I'm sorry I had to do it. Like, it's something I can do, but it's not something I've ever been consistent at. Yes! So I went out to train with some absolute gods at sticking jumps. Now first up we have Fernandez. Now Harrison is a powerhouse of an athlete. There is literally a fan page dedicated to Harrison's legs. Next up we have Connor Walker. Connor's running jump is absolutely huge and he has probably some of the best landings I've seen.
Yes!
And then finally we have Wade Thomas. Now Wade is actually a freerunner I've never met in person before, and I only found out about him a couple weeks prior to training with him. But Wade seems to be this up and coming freerunner who also has very good jumps and landings. So my plan was to spend a day with these guys and hopefully they could improve my landings. Before we go any further with this video, I want to give a massive shout out to today's sponsor, and that is Vite Ramen. Vite Ramen is a high protein, quick and easy to make ramen noodle. I find Vite Ramen perfect if I've been training parkour for a whole day and then I come back and edit videos, because I can literally just chuck this in a pan with some boiling water and know that I'm getting 25% of my daily values of my vitamins and minerals, as well as in this pack I get 27 grams of protein. Vite Ramen have been a long time sponsor of this channel, and it's because I'm kind of addicted to them at this point. They're seriously delicious and really easy to make. So go grab yourself some Vite Ramen and get 10% off by using the code JimmyTheGiantUK on checkout. Anyway, back to the video. Within the first 5 minutes of arriving at the spot, Connor and Wade had already started attempting this really techie rail Kong Pre.
Oh. Oh.
For me, sticking jumps is like that moment of pure control, and
right.
If I can stick it, I've done something to the absolute most controlled. And I don't just mean like just stick it and then being like I'm not aiming to get a stick like that, I'm aiming to stick it well, and then that just showed myself I've done something.
It's interesting.
Control.
Okay, so you might be wondering, why are freerunners so obsessed with sticking jumps? Like for instance, when Marcio Felipe stuck the IMAX Kong Precision, it took him 46 attempts. Now most people, myself included, had I just even made that distance, I would be ecstatic with myself. But that wasn't enough for Marcio. You see, the feeling you get when you stick a jump is really hard to put into words. There's like this level of complete control. Like when you do something so perfectly that you know you couldn't do it better. And it comes down to the feeling of satisfaction you get from doing it. It's the same as when you land a shot playing beer pong. Yes! This right here is a kendama. Between the ball and the stick, I know there's proper names for them, but whatever. Between the ball and the stick, you do a load of different tricks. If I don't get this first try. Oh, let's go, baby! It's that feeling of perfectly executing a skill that for some reason just makes you feel good when you do it. And it's that exact feeling that freerunners just love.
Oh. Oh. What is it about if I ask you like?
Satisfying. You do like 20, 10 jumps just to finally get in it. Sometimes you do all this, it doesn't count. You have to control it and hold it for a bit and then... Yes!
Oh! What? Oh my days.
It's just an obscene jump. Something I would never even consider looking at.
Oh! 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 Insane. Oh!
Okay, so that's all well and good, but what is the actual point of sticking jumps in the first place? There's a few different phrases that people tend to use when they talk about sticking jumps. People might say tech or technique or the phrase touch. Having good touch means that when your feet touch the wall, they do so in a soft and controlled manner. The idea is that the softer and more controlled that you pull into the wall, the cleaner and the quieter your landing should be.
Yeah!
If you land a jump and it makes a massive bang and it sounds heavy, then it's not really considered good touch. And having good touch leads you to being able to do harder things in parkour. You can attempt things that might be slightly more risky because you're able to control how you land. On top of that, it's so much better for your body if you land well. People with heavy landings and bad posture on their landings tend to come away from parkour with lots of injuries. Next spot there.
Oh, touch. Oh. Oh. Go on, son. Oh my. Why are you so light on your feet? Did you train for that?
I did kind of train for it, but it's more natural. I think I'm just lucky. We used to train a lot of loud landings and trying to keep them quiet. We'd get bullied if we landed loud.
Who was that by?
The old Cambridge scene, and then I learnt from them.
Now, I made a whole video about the Cambridge parkour scene. The Cambridge scene just had this kind of different attitude towards parkour. They would try all these different ways of training, putting each other off, training barefoot, punishing you if you don't land your jumps quietly enough. They would do these things that would go on to popularize the idea of touch and technique. And to me, it's so crazy just seeing how far these ideas have been pushed. Being able to stick these 15-foot plus running precisions with expert control is in many ways thanks to these OGs who pioneered it back in the day.
Oh. It's your turn. It's your go, boss. Oh, Jesus.
Wade's ruined the filming.
It's Wade's film, we're not my
It's
film.
good.
It looks good to
It's
me.
alright,
It
it's
looks.
alright.
Oh, beautiful.
So you're probably wondering, who is considered the best at sticking jumps on Earth?
So the next award is the Dinger Award.
So every year for the past few years, Stora have done the Stora Awards. And one of the categories in the Stora Awards is the Dinger category.
This is for the best stick of 2020. Again.
And every single year, the same person has won it. And that is Marcio Felipe.
He is the Dinger Lord for sure. He already won this award with his massive drop speed step pre, but then he released this massive drop precision as well just the other day. Like everyone was sharing that online.
Yeah! Marcio's ability to stick jumps is just unlike anyone else. And I would personally say that Marcio is the king of sticking jumps.
Marcio incoming.
Oh my god!
You might have started to notice how each athlete seems to have a slightly different technique when it comes to sticking jumps. Marcio is different to Connor different to Wade, and so on.
Oh, like that.
Better than him.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He went like that, but instead of doing that, he went like that.
Oh.
Mate, I went sideways.
Oh, that was pretty.
Personally, I've always struggled to find out what is the absolute perfect way of sticking a jump. And as I say, many athletes do have different techniques. Just a quick side note, the Motors Project's put out a 20 types of sticks poster. It's got loads of really funny ones, but the Michael Jackson is definitely my favourite. They've exclusively given you guys a 10% discount if you use the code Jimmy the Giant, so just go get one of these. It massively helps me and these guys out. Anyway, tangent done. If you take the whole team of Storer, they all have good landings. They can stick big jumps. But me, Harrison and Scott, we're kind of having a debate as to who has the prettiest looking sticks.
The thing about Benji's, I think, is more like say if you look at Max's, Max is more controlled on the, like he lands on the balls of his feet. I think Benj lands more towards his arch.
Scott reckons Callum, I reckon Benj, and you reckon...
I'd say Callum. I'd like Callum.
Really?
Because Callum can take every kind of impact and stick it well.
We're saying pretty though.
I think pretty because it's like, Callum will not be wiggling around after a massive drop
Yeah,
down
very
burst.
true.
So like, if you're thinking pretty like gymnastics pretty, then Callum's. If you think pretty like looks cool,
Yeah.
then it's probably not Callum's.
So for me, it's Benj because when he sticks, it just looks so like satisfying. Not to discredit Callum, I just prefer Benj.
Tell Callum you thought his sticks were
Next spot.
He's saying there's a massive jump there.
So we went to go and train on this completely abandoned building, and this random guy had beef with us, decided to call the police, and we had to spend ages dealing with the coppers. So whilst we were dealing with the police, Connor and the other guys went off to try this insanely big jump.
Yeah. Lovely.
We're gonna head now to Milton Keynes, like the city centre. Should be fun. These spots have all been just big, massive jumps. Whereas the Milton Keynes spots are a bit more for, you know, people who kind of suck like me.
Okay, so as I said at the beginning of the video, my sticks are not that good. So I collared Harrison and got him to do a stick masterclass with me to kind of work out what I'm doing wrong. Now Harrison's a personal trainer, so he actually looks at parkour in quite an analytical way. And he makes a big thing about posture and the way your body should be positioned in order to land.
The thing that I'm going to be focusing on, firstly, making sure I take off, not going like too flat. In the past, I was trying to just jump at it and get there. It's a absolute disaster because you end up jumping so far forward, you end up coming like this, trying to go up at like 45 degrees, so you can allow yourself to get your hips through and then kind of absorb into it.
Woo! He bounced it. Oof.
Where I was able to lean back, I was able to come in from there and then try and get that exact position. If you jump too far forward, because your chest is coming in, you'll be forced to go in like this, and you'll see a lot of people going like,
Yeah, yeah.
there, just nice and gently. I've already ruined it. Just gently come back, but make sure you lift your jaw. So you can see already, one, you didn't bounce it, and two, you overshot, and you had to come up to here to try and recover that stick. And you, still, so. Nice. Your heels are up here then. Yeah. Try to just recorrect it and just set them down low.
Nice. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Try and leave your chest back. You're going like this, and you're going like.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So you see how my chest is almost over my feet. You stuck it. Recorrect yourself now. You see. Yeah, there you go. Lift your chest up higher, so you're here, yeah? You're open.
That's the position.
Yeah. Yeah, now recorrect. Yeah. Heels down, come up higher. Heels down more now. It's going to feel like it's going to set you backwards. There you go, yeah. Better. See, you're already wanting to land in that position a bit more. Like, you've got a habit of landing in a particular way. Like, you've trained that habit for 10 years. And now you're going to have to relearn it and then retrain it into becoming a new habit. Yeah, nice. And the heel's just down a little bit lower. There.
So like, I didn't have some mind-blowing transformation in this one session, but I now know what I'm looking for in a landing. Whereas before, it kind of felt like I was just shooting in the dark. And if I happened to stick it, I'd be like, oh, cool. But it never felt like it was under my control. And that right there nicely takes us back to the original point of sticking. The idea of having control. To know and to trust in your abilities, because you know you can do it and do it in a controlled manner. Delving deeper into this idea of correct landings in parkour has given me an immense appreciation for the athletes that are good at sticking. Every newcomer I've seen in parkour always has a weird looking jump and weird landings. It takes an insane level of dedication to get good at it, and that might be a slow, boring process of repeating the same jump 100 times over. But it's only when you put that level of dedication into something can you ever do something truly incredible. It can be very easy to look at the end result, and for me that was Kai Willis, and think, I want to be him, I want to be able to do that. But when you see Kai Willis at his best, that is the tip of the iceberg. He didn't wake up one morning and decide to do that. It took him years and years of endless training to get there. So unfortunately, in real life, you can't just skip the tutorial and cut to the chase. You gotta put the work in. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I've just released my first t-shirt ever, so you can massively help me out by going to jimmythegiant.co.uk, picking one of these up or a parkour bucket list, or supporting me on Patreon or using the sponsored link below. Peace.